Would you like to win money later in life? If so, poker is the game for you. Poker is a fun, strategic game that you can play with your friends, family, or strangers. Once I teach you how to play this game, you will be able to play with anybody, and possibly even win money if you play in a casino. I'm able to teach you how to play this because I've played many games of poker myself, and I have done research to make sure I'm playing correctly. So, in this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to set up for poker, how to play poker, and how to win poker. So, first, let's look at the materials you need to play poker. The first thing you need is something to bet with, like poker chips. The different colors mean different values, but if you're like me and you're just playing for fun, you can say they all equal the same. The next thing you'll need is a deck of playing cards. Now, you don't need jokers, and you need to make sure this is shuffled very well. This is very important. And the last thing you need is a good poker face. So, now that I've taught you how to set up a game of poker, I'll now be teaching you how to start a game of poker. So first, the chips must be distributed evenly, so I'll pretend there are two other players with me. Player 2 gets 12 chips, I get 12 chips, and player 3 gets 12 chips. After the chips are distributed, the dealer, which is me for this round, shuffles the cards. Shuffling cards is very, very important and is to be taken seriously in poker. So, once the cards are shuffled, the dealer will deal out the cards. So I deal one to myself, go to the right of me, deal one, and then keep going to the right until everyone has 2 cards. Once I do this, I discard a card, put 3 on the table, discard another card, put 1 more on the table, discard a final card, and put a final card on the table. The discarded cards and the deck are able to be set aside for the whole round. Now, every player has a starting hand, and there are 5 cards laid on the table. This starting hand can be any cards. This player has a 2 of hearts and a 6 of hearts. I have a 2 of diamonds and a 4 of spades. And player 2 has an ace of spades and an ace of diamonds. Very good starting hand. Now, you're probably wondering what hands are. So to win a round, you either have to get everyone to back down or fold, or you have to make the best hand out of the 7 cards you're provided. You have 5 cards up here and 2 unique cards to make a hand of 5. Now, the hands go from lowest to best. The high card, which means you have nothing, so you just use the highest card. A 1 pair, which is 2 cards of the same. 2 pair, which is 2 pairs. 3 of a kind, which is 3 cards of the same. A straight, which is 5 cards in a row. For example, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it goes a flush, where you have 5 of any card, all of the same suit. Then a full house, which is a 3 of a kind and a pair. Then a 4 of a kind, which is 4 of 1 card and a random card. And the final, most rare hand in poker is called the royal flush. This is when you have a 10, a jack, a queen, a king, and an ace, all of the same suit. You will probably never see this hand. Anyways, now that I've explained the hands, let's move on to checking and betting. So, if you have a good starting hand, you might want to bet. But first, when the dealer deals, the person to the right of the dealer has to put 1 chip in. This is called the small blind. And the person to the right of them has to put in 2. This is called the big blind. This is so that no matter what, somebody's winning something. So, now that the chips are in the middle, we are able to check and bet. Betting is when you think you have something good and you're going to win the round. So you want to put some in. If I put a chip in, everybody has to match my chip, so they have to put 1 in, or they can fold, so they're out of the round. So I'm not betting this round, but this player has 2 aces, which is a very good starting hand. So he's going to bet 1. So I think a 4 and a 2 are not very good, so I'm going to fold, which means to back out, and you are not going to bet any. This player has 2 hearts, so he thinks he might get a flush, so he's going to stay in. Now, it goes back to this player, and he is asked, would you like to raise? He says no, he'd like to check. He'd like to check. Check means to look at the cards. So then, these 3 cards are flipped, which are called the flop. So it's a 6 of diamonds, a 2 of clubs, and a 10 of spades. Now this player still has a pair, but this player has 2 pairs now. So this player is going to put 2 chips in. But this player is still very confident, so he's going to match it. I'm still bluffed, so I don't know. Now the next card is flipped. This is called the turn. It's a 3. Now this guy has already reached his maximum potential unless he finds another card that is either 2 or 6. So he hasn't found anything. Now they both decide to check. So he says check, he says check. They'd like to see the final card. It's also a 3. So now this guy has 2 pairs and this guy has 2 pairs. But this guy has 2 of the higher pairs because he has a high pair of ace and a pair of 3s. This guy has 2 lower pairs. So this guy actually got very lucky and won all the chips. Now you're probably wondering, how do you win? Well, if you're playing for fun, you'll usually win by receiving all the chips and every other player's out of chips. So, in conclusion, I have taught you how to set up for a game of poker, how to play a game of poker, and how to win a game of poker. Now that I have taught you how to play, you can play with whoever you want and even make some money. Now remember guys, if you play with your mom, it's more than likely she's going to be better than you. So try not to get angry and poker face.